Hey guys, SBP today. If you watched my last video, it was on picking a soldering iron and solder combination for your situation of what you'll be soldering. Alright, now in this video, I'm going to teach y'all how to solder. Now there's a couple different ways. If you're soldering onto, let's say, a breadboard like right here, you would use the method of you just take your soldering iron, put a little bit of, you tin your tip, put a little soldering on, and you solder. Well, if you're soldering a wire, it's a little bit different. Well, in this one, I'm going to show y'all how to solder onto a breadboard, or let's say a printed circuit board. It's the same thing pretty much. So alright, let's go ahead and turn on my iron. I used the Radio Shack digital soldering station. They have 3 different presets. Goes from anywhere from 302 degrees to 842 degrees. So you can see it heats up in a matter of seconds. It's already at 600 degrees. If you see TNP, that stands for temperature of the actual tip. You go ahead and you stab it into your tip tinner and cleaner. Let it sizzle for a second. Take it out. That's a perfectly tinned tip. Alright. Set this camera back up. Alright, now let's go ahead. Now, you don't have to have that. You could also tin your tip like this. You just take a little bit of solder. You melt it onto the tip. And then, there you go. Now, your tip of your soldering iron will properly exchange heat to the item that you're soldering. Make sure you don't breathe any of those fumes in. It's harmful to your lungs. Now, I've already kind of done the honors of, once I put my 7-segment display into my piece of breadboard, you want to sit there and you want to kind of bend out your pins just a little bit. I don't know if you can see this, but my pins are bent out just a tad bit, so it keeps it in place without it falling out when you pick it up. So let's go ahead and start soldering. Alright, first thing you're going to do, put a tad bit of solder on your tip. Just a tad. Touch it to the pin that you're soldering. Let it sit there and heat up for a second. And then add a little bit of solder. And then, voila. One thing that you need to remember. Solder will not stick to the thing you're soldering unless it's the same as unless it's hot. It isn't, so hot solder is not going to stick to a cold pin. You got to heat up the pin. You can't just drop solder on place. It isn't going to heat up. So you got to heat up your pin and then add a little bit of solder. Alright guys, just finished soldering this in, and as you see, it's okay if you spill a little bit of solder on any other pins. As long as it's not making a short or anything, you gotta kind of look kind of closely sometimes, make sure it's not shorting anything out. But that's how you do it. You solder. Now this thing's on here. Now I just gotta cut out some wire, make some connections. Now in my next video, I'm gonna be showing you how to solder 2 pieces of wire together. It's a little bit different process than this. So alright guys, SBP, see y'all next time.